Fantastic news! The Dutch farmers win their election. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we have some fantastic news to celebrate. This is about the Dutch farmers. Now, if you haven't been following the protests over there, well, there's a push from the Dutch government to, well, reduce nitrogen pollution and emissions and buy up farmland and reduce their herd, their cattle. And of course, well, for everyday normal people, that just seems utterly insane. But if you're part of this woke ideological green movement, it seems like a reasonable thing, you know? Governments buying up farmland and restricting the use of fertilizers, that's never led to any issues in the past, has it? Well, yeah, we all know what happened in Sri Lanka, don't we? So let's have a look here, this article. So the Farmers' Protest Party win a shocking Dutch vote victory. So, a Farmers' Party has stunned Dutch politics and is set to be the biggest party, the biggest party in the upper house of parliament after provincial elections. So they've got control of the Senate. That's what you want. The Farmer Citizen Movement, BBB, was only set up in 2019 in the wake of widespread farmers' protests. But with most votes counted, they are due to win 15 of the Senate seats with almost 20% of the vote. This isn't normal, but actually it is. It's all normal citizens who voted, said leader Caroline van der Plas. The BBB aims to fight government plans to slash nitrogen emissions harmful to biodiversity by dramatically reducing livestock numbers and buying out thousands of farms. Now, we need livestock. We need food. We need farmers. It's the modern world. Oh, boy. And how much biodiversity is there in Holland anyway? But its appeal has spread rapidly beyond its rural heartland on a populist platform that represents traditional conservative Dutch social and moral values. Shocked by the scale of their success, Ms. van der Plas told supporters that voters normally stayed at home if they lost faith in politics. But today people have shown they can't stay at home any longer. We won't be ignored anymore. A left-wing Green Labour alliance is also on course to win 15 Senate seats, while Prime Minister Mark Rutte's four-party coalition is poised to fall back to 24, down 8 seats. Turnout in Wednesday's vote, estimated at 57.5%, it's very low, was the highest for years. And the biggest losers of the night were the far-right Forum for Democracy Party. For rural voters, the main incentive for backing the BBB was to protest against cuts in nitrogen emissions, according to an IPOS poll for public broadcaster NOS. But voters also turned out in force for the Greens, and environmental groups warned that the Netherlands' problems are not going away. Restoring nature is just as necessary today and tomorrow as it was yesterday, tweeted someone I'm not going to even try and pronounce. The runner-up to the vote was dominated by the side of farmers' tractors. The run-up to the vote was dominated by the sight of farmers' tractors on the streets of The Hague and outside the venue that hosted a pre-vote leaders' debate. Commentator Ben Coates described the result as something of an earthquake in Dutch politics. Although their policies are very much focused on opposing the government's environmental policies, he told the BBC, most people would characterize them as right-wing populist party that is quite anti-EU, anti-immigration, and in favor of banning burqas for Muslims. Standing before supporters on Wednesday night, Caroline van der Plas wore her traditional green nail polish and a ring featuring an upside-down Dutch flag, a symbol of the anti-government protests. The daughter of an Irish mother and a Dutch father, she lost her husband January to pancreatic cancer as the protests took off in 2019. She's unlike any Dutch party leader, and for many voters, that is her appeal. She had to step back from the public campaigning last year because of death threats. She was told the same fate awaited her as Pim Fortuyn, a populist leader assassinated days before the 2002 Dutch general election. I just wonder how the cultural environment has changed in Holland due to the influx of immigrants from countries that are, well, not bordering them. You know, I just wonder. I wonder if that's why it's all changed. These little tiny countries. Speaking to the BBC during a visit to farmers in the rural east, she sprang to her feet in mid-sentence to avoid a bee, explaining she'd been stung as a toddler and had been terrified ever since. Well, there you go. You don't blame her. So, guys, well, let's have a bit of a talk about this one. So I think this is fantastic news. These are some sensible approaches, and the people are frustrated with what their government is telling them to do, with what the EU is telling them to do, with what other globalist organizations are dictating on individual citizens, down to the point where they're restricting how much fertilizer you can use. Now, here's the thing. People need to eat. People need food. We need cattle. We need farming. And that has to come first. We don't want famine. We don't want rapid price inflation in food. And the government shouldn't be wasting money buying out farmers and all of these other things. I think this is a good sign. What do you reckon, guys? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We'll have to see. As always, thanks for watching. Check out Heise BIM and Heise Does. I promise I will get some content up there eventually. It's just quite hard at the moment with, you know, doing the renovations, living up there, working here, going back and forth. It's flat out right now. As always, thanks for watching. If you want to support us, you can on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now. This will be interesting to follow, to see what happens in the coming years. They've got control of the Senate. I wonder if a similar movement could rise here in Australia. Don't know if it could.